Hello, everyone. Hi, I am Simon at Wandering DM. Welcome, one and all, to our. Wait, are the cameras okay? Jinx, Jimenez, Reno, and Trins. Yeah, okay. Welcome to our Friday night episode of Cyberpunk RED. Um, we'll go around the table, introduce the cast. Of course, this week, especially, we did not have a recap as I didn't have the time to make one. Nobody else did, due to real life and all that. So it happened. So we're just gonna go and do a normal recap. Um, Amongst ourselves of what happened last episode. But before we do so, I would just like to go around the table. Tell us who you are, who you'll be playing, and at the same time, what do you remember happened to your character last week? Let's start with Trins.
Oh, hey, all. Hi. Hi. So, Trends. Hi, all. You know me. I'm at Jonathan on Twitter, and I play Trends, your friendly, very friendly mechanic who, was told by Mr. White that Reno needed some help, so she took the car, one of the cars she has, and while she was driving out to help provide a distraction, and Mr. White told her that she could make as big a distraction as she wanted, so she took a little bit, just a smidgen bit of the C4 that she has, and decided to tie that to a fire extinguisher, and created a improvised missile launcher with which to attack one Mulhen Steele, who was trying to kill Reno. And I missed him by 1 point. But I did blow up a side of a building, so we got away. Yay! And then I had Mr. White check on my brother because my brother is living in his side of the apartment. In his apartment, it's not my apartment. He has that side. My side is fine. And then he's fine. Well, except for the fact for some reason he's they said he got sick, and therefore they did a full cyber replacement from everything from the waist down. Don't know why, but hey, whatever's. And then I went to the wrestling match to watch. I took my brother to watch the wrestling match, and Jimenez asked if I could possibly do some work on the cage match to make sure it fell the right way, and when they get the fighting, and it'll be good. But that's about it. I had to bullshit up and argue with my brother, which is pretty much a normal weekend. And drive a car really fast.
And our next character. Speaking of Mr. Principal, Mr. White. Ah, shit! I didn't change the title again.
Yeah,
Mr. White, what did you do?
I don't know. I mean, really, I just kind of did a little bit of coordinating, made a couple phone calls, sent a couple text messages, made an offer. Hopefully, people won't refuse. And oh yeah, got some T-shirts made on the fly, and a T-shirt cannon to launch them with for Jimenez's promo spot at Club Underground. Other than that, it was a pretty quiet night in Mr. White's neighborhood.
Up next we have Jinx.
Hey, I'm Jinx. I was on mute. Ugh. What did I do last game? Oh yeah, I helped the Reno escape. And I got a shiny gun I can't wait to use. And that's about it. I'm sorry. I'm fine.
All right, up next is Jimenez.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino, and I play Jimenez, the rocker boy slash pro wrestler group. And last week, I I tutored.
You muted yourself, like mid-sentence, after tutored.
That was my cat who decided to just press all the keys on my keyboard with her face. So anyway, so last week Jimenez gave Crazy Princess a breakdown of professional wrestling psychology, and did a send-off promo for the match, and dressed up a little Yorkshire Terrier and renamed her the Under Terrier.
Which I seem to have seen on screen at some point during the week between our last episode and today.
Yeah.
And last but certainly not least, Reno.
That's me, Adelaide Gardner, Adelaide on Twitter. I play Reno the Solo, who just recently escaped being tagged and bagged, essentially, being trailed by a hit man. I got shot with a tracker and also got shot. And had a fun interaction with Mr. White where I attempted to just pull out the bullet myself instead of being treated by him. That was fun and bloody. And now figuring out what to do with my new expensive toys, plotting a heist essentially.
And we'll see today what's going to happen with this, with the fight, and with everything else. But before we delve into Night City and the probably illicit activities that this group of runners are going to embark on, I would just like to thank all of our sponsors for tonight. Of course, we'll begin with Artalsorian Games, the makers of Cyberpunk RED, without whom it would be impossible to have this game. Our second sponsor, I need more coffee, is Magen Press, purveyors of 5th edition supplement for Dungeons & Dragons. You can check them out at store.magenpress.com and use code WanderingDM to get 15% off. Our third sponsor is, of course, Found Familiar, the coffee company that we all love here at Cyberpunk and at Wandering DM, and apparently in Night City because it became canon. You can check them out at foundfamiliar.com. You can use code WanderingDM to get 10% off, and if you order for $50 or more of coffee, you get free shipping if you live in the continental United States. And lastly, our partners through the Diceomancy program, the purple torch down below, level up dice if you like shiny dice. They have just released, I was behind on the news, but they've just released 2 new sets. They are fucking gorgeous. One of them is a spider-inspired set of black and white dice. I don't remember the type of stone, but it is gorgeous. And they released also a purple set. That was last week. Let me just grab the name of it really quickly. It's a
Shadow Mask.
The Shadow Mask set, yeah. Which for some reason I don't see anymore. Dun dun dun.
It's at the very bottom of the new releases because they put a couple other new releases
Thank you.
in too.
Shadow Mask purple cat's eye. It is gorgeous. There's got like little runes on it. It's purple. It's shiny. I'm probably gonna get.
They
a
are
set.
even prettier in person.
Oh, you've seen them in person?
Well, I've seen Cat's Eye dice. The Cat's Eye dice. I haven't seen Level Ups. I think they just came out with that, but I saw it at another place. Gorgeous stone to make dice out of.
It's yeah. I want more dice. I need more dice. So that said, oh yeah, the spider ones are Ivory Jade. I'll put them in chat. Someone wants to click on it and look it up. Very beautiful. Anyway, if you want these dice, if you want to check out their stuff, their catalog, click on the purple torch down below or the link in chat, and you can use, if you use the link, it gives us experience. With experience, we level up. When we level up, we get free dice that we give away to our viewers, like we did the other day with the chip hematite set. That said, let's go back to what we were doing. Actually, let's go back a few days after. Since the promo with Crazy Princess and Jimenez, 2 days have passed. Tonight, at 9 p.m., is Jimenez's big fight with Crazy Princess. We'll begin by focusing on Jimenez for a second. The morning of his big fight. How are you doing, Jimenez? What's happening?
So Jimenez woke up from a really, really strange dream in a cold sweat with the Under Terrier sleeping at the foot of the bed. And really weird. He saw himself in an alternate dimension in some house with some weird fortune teller who had very vague images of what might happen in Jimenez's future. But he didn't really take it seriously, so he sort of just decided to shake it off, get his morning protein drink ready, and take it easy until he has to get to the club.
All right. Do you get up before the sun rises, or
Oh, no.
Okay.
This morning he's getting up at like 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
Oh, okay, so it's not it's your morning, but to everybody else, it's actually afternoon. So,
Yeah.
while Jimenez is still having dreams of stranger house and stranger people who probably bear some passing resemblance to Mr. White, let's go around the apartment complex. I would like to know, what are y'all doing today?
Probably going to work and trying to get stuff done and annoying my brother sometime in there. That's about it. Also, probably re-armoring a shit ton of cars because the stupid assholes took the armor plating off the cars that I put the armor plating on.
You are thus working on police cars all day. I even have, where is it? No, that's intercity police. They received one new vehicle. An AV3 Aerocop. Picture a I don't know how to describe it. It's a flying car. I'll put it in Roll20 so that y'all can see. But essentially, it's a flying car. They've received one. And Al is beyond excited to perhaps be the first to drive it. It's brand new. There we go. For those of you in Roll20. It's like a sports car, but the front is shaped like a U, I guess. And of course, under each like prongs of the U, that's where you have like your turbines to lift the car up. It is it isn't made for long pursuits. It's like a short range interceptor, but it is very, very expensive. And right now, the Aero Cup still sits under a tarp in the vehicle bay.
Trins is on the dolly underneath that car.
It's so new that you could still peel off the plastic, like if it was anything but a car.
And she may, or it's that look of someone who's like, ooh, new toy on Christmas morning with which to play. I have pretty shiny things.
As you begin to look the car over, you realize that, one, it is locked. And even Al doesn't have the keys to get in. But it is also... it's a biometric scanner on the handle. So in the system, like, the cops that are allowed to use it, they have to, like, put in their names, register, if you will. So they always know who went out with it, and everything that this car does is logged. Which is partly because of what happened to the other armored ground vehicles. So that they know, like, who's been messing with them, who's been tampering with them. But this is like their new baby, their new toy. If you want to compare, let's say, to your characters, this vehicle has a speed of 50.
Yep.
So in a chase, if you want to outrun this vehicle, you need to have a speed of 51.
Cool. So, Trins is going to convince them that she needs to be added to the biometrics for this car, because otherwise she can't fix it when it gets broken.
Al says that it's not in his power to do so.
That's okay. I can convince other people.
You would have to go straight to the captain. He's the one in charge. He's the one with everything.
Okay, but you're gonna look at me and say, why haven't you fixed the car? And I'll be like, I can't touch the car, so I need to go talk to him and say that I need to be able to touch the car.
You can go ahead and try. The captain's been very protective of the new AV3.
But he likes me, so I'll be fine. Everybody likes me.
Be my guess.
Okay. And she will go out, like, still in her coveralls and with the gear that she's got on, and literally her hair's lighting up in different patterns. Her shoes are still lighting up, and she'll just kind of, like, half skip down the hallway to the captain's office.
Most of the people in the precinct know of you, and most of them have seen you. You're, the local mechanic. So you get a few nods, a few waves as you traipse by. And you make your way to the captain's office. His door was open. He's on his computer typing away at something while his his agent next to him keep going off with calls that he's purposefully ignoring. And without moving his eyes from the monitor, he says, yeah, what do you want, Trent?
I need you to add me to the biometrics for the new toy. Otherwise, I can't fix it.
Nope.
Why not?
Well, because for one, right now it's not broken.
Uh-huh. And when it is broken, you're going to say, Trins, you need to fix it. And I'm going to say, I can't because you haven't added me to the biometrics. And then you're going to say, but that's going to take a while because it has to go through the system. And you're not going to, and I'm going to say, well, that's good because it's going to have to sit there for however long it takes all of the biometrics to get validated and imported. And this car's going to sit there and not do nothing.
It would if the system wasn't very quick to respond, and he looks up from his monitor with, like, you can see, like, half a smile on his face. He says, the biometrics remain completely empty until such time as someone needs the aerocop. So when
Yeah, I
you
don't
need to
need the
repair
car.
it, I'll add them in, but I can only add up to 2 biometrics at a time on this car.
Okay, so like the mechanic should always be one, because particularly after last time when the other precinct took your cars and therefore they decided to take all of the, armor plating that I'm currently replacing at cost, by the way, to your cars. This way you can guarantee that only the right mechanic is the one that fixes it and touches it
But
and would know if something went wrong.
what do I do for the second cop?
The person who drives it. That's the only person other than the pair is important. And I'm not the one who's driving it.
My people go on patrol 2 at a time, Trins.
Yeah, so the only person who has to need the biometrics is the one who's driving.
No, if you want to open any door.
That seems a failure of design. Are you sure I can't take a look at it and see if I can't fix that? Because that seems like something I should be able to fix. I mean, I did, however, fix that radiator that's sitting right over there that you kept saying didn't work, and now you have a perfectly climate-controlled office, so therefore, I should be able to fix that.
You should, but it's not how things work. Not after the kerfuffle that happened with our cars.
And
Look.
that wasn't me. That was me pointing out that somebody stole all your armor plating and did a shit job of it, too. They didn't even steal it the right way to make sure that you could resell it. That seems a poor decision-making.
Look, if you want to get in that car that bad, I suggest going to the academy. Joining the NCPD.
She kind of looks at him and looks at him. But then I wouldn't get to play with the cars. That seems silly. I like cars.
I know you do. But until such time as I have more than one aerocop, things are gonna stay that way. If you need to repair it, don't worry, I'll add you in for the time being. But I can't put your name in willy-nilly.
Why not? Who said so?
The higher-ups.
Whose design is it? No, I mean mechanically speaking.
Oh, the aerocop?
Yeah.
It's in my notes. Yeah, I know that. Ah, bummer. It's,
See?
choo-pa-choo-pa-choo. It's not gonna take long. I just need to get onto the wiki because the name of the company isn't in my notes.
It's important things. I need to know who's been designing the car, because if they did a really poor job, that could be really big problems. Did you know that I saw one actually blow up well, not blow up, but I saw an explosion and it almost fell out of the sky yesterday.
Yeah, or so I've heard. The precinct that was in charge of it said that someone had used explosives to try to blow... Well, they did manage to blow a hole in the side of an apartment complex.
That seems aggressive. Who would do something like that?
Good question. From what I saw, it's probably some sort of homegrown terrorist or something. They used a very unconventional propeller as a sort of missile or grenade launcher or something. Very, very,
That seems
very
impractical.
resourceful.
That also seems really dangerous to everybody around. And really hard to target. I don't know.
This person is going to be in a lot of trouble when we find them. So I think the company is Petrochem, but I am not 100% sure.
Cool.
Essentially, I can tell you right now that it is not either WorldSat or Militech.
The other important question is it a similar model and design as the one that Mulholland Steel that she tried to shoot Mulholland's?
No. This one is an armored vehicle. It's like a small flying tank.
Cool. Her next thing is that she's gonna try to convince him for about another 5-10 minutes.
Oh, God, I have the name. I should have known. The megacorp responsible for this car, this Aerodyne, is Honda.
Of course it is.
So, you know, the actual Honda.
Yeah. You know, it's not a bad car at all, but I can tell you that, you know, if you actually made sure the alarms are set, because what if somebody bumps into it in the garage? Have you seen the way those guys park?
Then their car is probably going to get damaged. Look, I know you want to go in, I know you want to play with it, but the answer will remain a stern no until such time as we actually need to have it repaired.
And she just kind of gives like that puppy dog look for like another 3-4 minutes. Mostly just to make sure that he's convinced that that's her giving up.
Oh, Twitch is acting up. Are we still live? Please tell me we're still live.
I can see you.
Yeah.
I still...
It's just that it'll slow down and it'll stop a little bit and then it'll keep going. It might just be my computer then. But...
Yeah, I'm seeing fine.
Okay. Sorry. Just
I've got no issues on my end.
Nope, but it's important to know. See, we're still good, Hawkeye says, and Madeline says.
okay, cool.
Yeah, she just wants him to be convinced that he actually convinced her that to give up.
After like a minute or so of you still standing there as he's typing away on his keyboard, he just like motions you to leave his office. And he says, I'll call you when we need it to get repaired.
Okay. By the way, you still have to fix your gun because I saw it, you know. You need to clean that. It looks really messy. And she'll like close the door behind her as she leaves and like kind of give that kind of pout walk so she doesn't look like she's running quickly to the car.
Meanwhile,
because she's going to do something stupid. Or Trin's
Friends? Stupid? Never. Never.
Reno, what are you doing this morning?
After the news of that our apartment building is like the last spot in this drone semicircle thing, Reno has a few ideas on her mind. He mentioned the fact that it was a drone control center, essentially. And so she's wondering, I want to know, is there somebody who might know a lot about that kind of techie stuff? Maybe even send a message through Mr. White to Control about the possible options, knowing that there's essentially a dead zone, maybe, where drones can't go. Does that make sense?
Yes. I would say if you want to see if you know of anyone that knows like a bit more about drones than you do, you could try a local expert check.
I could try that, sure.
That'd be a DC 14.
Oh, 15. Perfect.
All right. You know that 2 people in this apartment building are actually, they've mentioned in passing drones before. One of them is a fairly invisible tenant by the name of Zach Cook.
Oh yeah.
And the other one is, of course, as always, Barry Showalter.
Oh, I just muted myself while I was talking. I am going to hit up Zach Cook. He's more mysterious, but at least I don't have to hear about bowling or issues with his mom.
If you want to picture what Zach Cook looks like, who is that guy in The Simpsons that he was this new employee at the nuclear power plant, and everything he did was was fine, but Homer drove him crazy.
I have never seen The Simpsons, so I can't.
Oh, okay. Frank Grimes. For those that know of Frank Grimes, you'll get the gist of it, what he looks like.
Oh, gotcha.
And
Okay.
yeah.
I looked it up. I get it.
So, clean cut hair, always wearing a white shirt, either short sleeves or long sleeves, with a tie, his little clipped on ID card, gray or beige pants, always pressed, nice looking city, not city shoes, but oh boy, words. Like proper shoes.
Like Oxfords or...
Yeah, like Oxfords. And you have to catch him early if you want to talk to him, because most of the day he's always gone. He leaves at around 7 in the morning, and he doesn't come home before roughly 9 at night.
Zach, if I could trouble you, do you happen to know anything about drone technology? I've kind of fancied myself a bit of a hobbyist, and I figured you might know a bit or two about them.
Oh yeah, drones.
Well, once they get out of range, what exactly happens? I know that, you have your controller, and once they get out of that, but does it stop working? Do they just drop out of the sky?
Depends what model you have. Depends on a lot of factors, but normally I'd say the most basic one is they're gonna drop out of the sky,
Let's say they're really high tech, like I got top of the line.
Some of them will come equipped with... Why would you want a top-of-the-line drone, especially if you're a starting amateur? I don't want to... no disrespect intended.
I'm a widow with a lot of time on my hands.
Well, some of the bigger, better models will actually have a failsafe where they're gonna land softly. Or if you invest a bit more, you can have the FIDO chip, which makes it come back.
Is there a way to prevent drones from coming into an area? Is there like a device, like I'm just, in case I don't want to break any expensive toy I buy, but I'm just worried about, those crazies that might have set up some kind of electrical force field or something that might damage it.
Yeah, anything that'll get in the way of radio waves, it's gonna be a problem. Signal jammers, big problem. Your worst fear is an EMP going off, but I don't think anybody's gonna detonate an EMP in Night City anymore.
No. That sounds completely illogical. Well, that answers all the questions I have, really. I mean, you've been such great help.
Oh, hey, anytime, drone. drone piloting is sort of a passion of mine. I don't have a whole lot of time for it, but sometimes, if you want, I can show you my collection.
I'm sure that would be fascinating. I'll pencil it in. How about that?
Anytime. Anyway, I'm going to be late for work, so that was a nice chat. I will. Don't worry, my rent's gonna be on time and all that. I
Right.
hope you have a good day.
You too. Make sure it's on time. I'm going to spend the rest of my day. I have about 1,500, I think, in cash. I want to go and purchase motion activated cameras, but I want to set them up within maybe like a block. Well, not motion activated cameras because it wouldn't work. If I can find a way to set up a long running camera that's about a block away, I am gonna go essentially into full recon lockdown mode where I am keeping an eye out for any of those black vans that would be approaching the apartment. But I need to know that they're coming before they're there.
There's two things that I can think of that you can do, because a wired camera, like a CCTV, is not gonna work.
No.
Since you're gonna have to have like all the wiring go through.
Right.
And for a block, chances are that someone's gonna step on it.
I mean, worst case, I can find maybe some like street kid to just post up there and give me a ring, you know?
That could also be possible. What I'm thinking is, you know those, are they motion activated cameras? That you put at night to see if, like if you have like animals that come into your yard and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the hunter's cams.
Yeah, like the hunter's cams. That is definitely a possibility to have
Okay.
that installed and just, you know, connect it with a wireless signal, connect to the camera, or otherwise just a regular security cam that's just wireless. Like it's gonna be probably less expensive than CCTV actually in the world of Cyberpunk.
Okay, yeah, we can set up a camera.
Let me just check real quick. How many cameras do you want?
Two. One. I don't know exactly how our apartment's set up, but if there's a one on a street corner that's on a busier street, and then one that's just like angled at the other crossway, like maybe from like an alley or something.
Okay,
To
yeah.
catch that, you know.
So you basically would want to see them coming from any like crossing streets.
Right. Major intersections.
That would be. Yeah, that would come up to 1,200.
Okay.
Because they're not actual remote sensors; they're somewhat like that.
Mhm.
But they're like, whereas the remote sensor will just tell you, "Hey, something's moving." The cameras are a bit less expensive because they're also less easy to hide.
Sure. Yeah. Hell yeah.
So you've got two of them.
Dope. Yeah, I'll spend the day or next 2 days, however long it takes, just setting them up. I'm trying to hide them essentially like in bushes or disguising them on lamp posts if I can't find anything more subtle to put them. But definitely spending some time doing that.
All right. That'll take, you know, by the time you go get that and everything, set them up, that'll put you around the same time as Jimenez having woken up and Trent's finishing the discussion with the captain. So we'll move on to Mr. White and Jinx, and then we'll do one last round of the table, and that'll bring us to the fight tonight. So, Jinx, what's up?
Jinx is probably in her apartment, cleaning up the bike and just doing small things. Trying to see if there's odd jobs to do. Her usual morning. Drinking lots of coffee.
So nothing unusual, just looking for where do you look for odd jobs?
Use my agent.
You find like there's a few places hiring, but like nothing that would be a big payday for you. Everything is mostly quiet. I can hear the cat.
Yeah, that's why it's in Cyberpunk ASMR. It's nice.
He's too happy.
Did Jinx happen to find anything else in any of those drops from Arasaka? There are a few other things I'd asked for.
Last time. That is a lot of purring.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps. But that's if Jinx goes to check the
Yeah, I can go around and check the other drops.
There is in one of the dead drops an envelope containing nothing else but an SD card.
Okay, I'll grab that, bring it back. Show it to Mr. White. If Mr. White is at the apartment at the moment.
That could have happened any time in the last 2 days, right?
Yeah. So.
But yeah.
So what
I would
we'll
actually
do...
be on shift today. So.
Yeah. So for now, what we'll do is we'll say that this happened in the last like 2 days, so that you'd have time to look it through and potentially warn the others of what's on that SD card. It's a there's so many kittens tonight. What the hell? It's leverage.
I will have definitely passed that along. It's the Mr. Murphy asked, correct?
Yes. It's
Well,
actually it's scans of Stephanie Murphy's head, particularly her jaw, like what you would see at a dentist.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one tooth that clearly stands out.
In what way?
For one, it's fake.
Mm-hmm.
For two, it's a bomb.
I will definitely pass that along to Jimenez.
Wait, her jaw is a bomb?
Her tooth.
Or her tooth is a bomb? Oh, shit. Okay.
And that's important information.
And you also have a list of some of his actions you were already made aware of, how he forced other places to close just so his daughter could rise up on the wrestling scene, because this was something that she wanted to do.
But I have all of the names of the different owners, right?
Yep.
Mm.
The same ones that you've like, it's not, unless Jimenez did not share that information before. But it's the same people that that we've heard of. So basically, where is it? Konstantin Zhukovsky
Mm-hmm.
was one of them. The other was Atticus Clinch,
Mm-hmm.
who was one of the wrestlers that was forced to lose a match against her. And basically what you have in this in these documents is not only like the actions that he has done, but also a glimpse into what seems to be Mr. Murphy's plan for Stephanie. And it looks like Mr. Murphy is going against WorldSat here.
Interesting.
But if you would like to know more, I would actually need a check from anyone who takes a look at it. They can try. It would be a human perception check. $15 is unfortunately not enough.
About a 16.
Neither is a 16.
Oh no. That's what I'm good at.
Remember, y'all have luck to burn.
So what
Trent,
does
there
a
we go.
20 get me?
With a 20, you succeed. With a 25, Trent definitely succeeds. So there are two plans here in motion. One that WorldSat has, and one that Mr. Murphy has. WorldSat wanted to use Stephanie Murphy to rise up and take more and more room on the wrestling scene so that they could essentially, through her, begin to control the Night City. Shoot, I would need a Nino for that. What was it? The Superstar
Is that
League?
Grand Prix wrestling?
Yeah, something like. I'll just ask Anino. Anino, what was the name of the like big wrestling league in Night City? We said the
Grand Prix Wrestling.
Grand Prix Wrestling. Basically, what they wanted to have was that she becomes such a popular figure that they would have leverage to determine for themselves who would get to win, who would get to have anything, and eventually, hopefully, buy out Grand Prix Wrestling. Except that Mr. Murphy's not doing that. Mr. Murphy's using his daughter for something else. As you look through the documents that Arasaka provided you, you notice that some of the places that he forced to close were also directly or near the location of one of the antennas. All around the combat zone. And the last file that Arasaka gave you is like the cliff notes, if you will, of that plan. Like a memo, an internal memo that Murphy spread to whoever his co-conspirators are at WorldSat. They intend to turn the entire combat zone into a 24/7 entertainment venue where drone cameras will spy on people, killing other people, causing mayhem and rampage, basically turning human misery and and violence into like one of the biggest, most profitable entertainment model, if you will, in Night City.
He's turning the combat zone into the arena.
Yeah, except that this will be done with, you know, it's not just turning it into an arena where people fight. The combat zone is also a place where the very desperate huddle together to try to eke out an existence. He's also spying on like the poor and the downtrodden to show, you know, all of that for the entertainment of the masses, of the more well-off people. And oh, sorry.
Do I get the impression from this memo and the other documents that these towers that Mr. Murphy is doing are not necessarily part of WorldSat's regular plan? It's kind of a side project that he's hoping will pay off and kind of make a name for himself.
Exactly.
Hmm.
He's been working on this in secret.
I see.
Well, in more or less secret, because like some of his one of the memo that you have clearly states that the whoever well, I guess that would be the CFO of WorldSat did approve some of the expenses for the building of these towers. So they either the CFO knows and is aware, or Mr. Murphy is like using some sort of excuse to get the funding for that.
Gotcha. All right, well.
So you've got basically two plots running in parallel. One that is, you know, not that surprising from Megacorp. Another one that's, unfortunately in this circumstances, not surprising, but very draconian for a Megacorp. Of course, doing that will rake in so much money for WorldSat that Mr. Murphy is bound to get a promotion.
Yeah. Menace. You might want to find out if your partner knows about the implant. I don't want you losing your life because I can't fix spaghetti.
Sorry, what are you talking about?
The bomb in a jar.
Huh. Is that removable?
Everything's removable if you know how. What I'm worried about is a miscue in one of the maneuvers and setting it off unintentionally, or if it's remote, someone else setting it off for whatever their reasons are. If she knows about it, it's probably not remote. If she doesn't know about it,
Well,
seems wrong not to tell her.
Gimmicking it alarm anyone about its presence?
I mean, I could make sure that nobody's listening when you tell her.
Well, what I mean to say is if you decide to try removing it, will it cause any issues?
Not if we do it right.
I've got, I mean, Simon,
Mm-hmm.
you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Mr. White has no reason to think why he can't remove a tooth implant. Now, it's a bomb, so there's always a risk of something going wrong, but the actual implant itself, as long as there's some sort of jammer up so signals can't get through, there's likely nothing that he should have to worry about.
It's a tooth.
It's a tooth.
It acts and functions just like a tooth until it explodes.
So, anyway, You let me know what you want to do, and I will do what I can. But I need to think a little bit about the rest of those memos. Definitely use that info however you think is going to be useful, Jimenez, to make sure people take care of themselves. And I will look at our options for how to make sure that that never, ever, ever gets off the ground.
DM.
Mhm.
Trins has an idea, but she's not sure if it'd work.
What's that?
Well, all of us now have a radio implant
Mm-hmm.
that are connected. All of us all have the cyber eye that are connected to the, basically text messaging system, right?
Mm-hmm.
The implants are all receivers and also antennas.
Yeah.
Could theoretically Trins add something to Jimenez's radio receiver that if he felt it was necessary during the match to act as an jammer for anything that happened during the match? So basically, because it's a receiver and a broadcaster, add an extra channel to, like, maybe not not deaden, but like white noise anything that would be coming out. Act as an overwhelming broadcaster.
Let me check.
Because you gave us the high end ones. And then Jimenez would have the option of, if he thought it was a problem, that if he needed to shut it down, he could shut it down. I mean, taking it out would still be the preferable option, but
As strange as it sounds, there are no cyber audio implants that allow a signal jammer.
can I build one?
Since
I mean,
it's,
can I add on to what's already? I mean, it's already there. Could she just retool the frequency system?
well, because it's never been invented, I'll say on such a short notice, no.
Okay.
Given a few weeks,
Okay.
yes, because you're good enough with cyber tech that you could, but it's not something that Trent would be able to do in like the span of an afternoon.
Okay. Fair. But now she has a new project to try and figure out how to do it.
So knowing this, like I said, we'll do another round the table before break, before we get to the fight. But now that we know all this, let's begin with Reno. Was there anything else that you wanted to do?
No, I'm just gonna connect the cameras to my phone so I can watch it from wherever I am. I'm going to let Bex know that I might text him in case a van comes and we're not there.
Do
It is
you
about it.
leave him anything, like any...
I'll leave him the. I don't really have anything to leave him. I'll leave him my the new stick that I got. It's not much, but anything will help, I guess.
Okay. No, what I meant was, do you leave him any instructions what to do if he sees a car or...
I might do something a little risky. He's got my number, of course, and I'm gonna give him Mr. White's number. And I'm also going to give him Control's number. But I'm not going to tell him who it is.
Ooh.
I just slide it across the table and say, if shit goes down, use this.
Okay. Why don't I have his... Can you give me his name again?
His name is Bex.
Bex. Thank you.
Lord.
No,
Remember
that's
his last
okay.
name.
It's because I only had ex-lover. I
Bex
don't know.
Jarvis. That's what it was.
Okay, so now he has the special baton
Mm-hmm.
and the number for control.
Yep.
Cool. And Jimenez. Anything special that you do? Now that you have this new information, and that you still have a few hours ahead of you before the match.
No, he's just gonna go down to the club and hang out there until show.
Can you roll perception for me, please? $12.
I have a lot of windows open. 12, yes.
You hear sobbing as you enter Club Underground. You're about the only person there, but you can hear sobbing coming from the locker room.
So he's going to walk into the locker room and peer around. Hello? Anyone here?
The you said you also peered around, right? Stephanie Murphy, not seeing you just yet, quickly stifles a sub. She gets up and just like starts the shower to like hide the sounds. And she yells out, there's someone here.
Is that you, Stephanie?
Jimenez?
Yeah, that's me.
She turns off the shower and comes out of like the room. There are no doors to it. The way the locker room is made, it's just like an opening into the locker room. And she walks up to you. You can see that she's currently wearing a pink tank top with like a mesh shirt over it, and on her top, like, there are drops of water, probably tears. Her mascara is leaking. She is... The rest of her attire is, like, sportswear, so, like...
Sure.
Leggings, running shoes, her hair up in a bun. But you notice that, like, her... And you know why, but, like, where the new tooth was put in, like, her mouth is slightly swollen. And she says, hey, I'm so sorry.
What's going on?
My dad's crazy. He forced me to have this. And she opens her mouth and points at, like, it looks like it's made of like titanium, but like one of the teeth is just not normal. Like it's shaped like metal.
Huh.
He doesn't want
He
you.
just holds up. He just holds up his hand. I know what it is. Ironically, it seems a little easier for me because I wasn't sure how I was going to break the news to you if it was something that they just slipped on you for whatnot.
They actually. And she starts crying and says, I went to bed last night and I woke up this morning with this. I confronted Dad about it, and it took a while, but he told me what it was for. He doesn't want me to just win on a technicality. He wants to threaten you. He wants to use me to get to you. It's just like I'm just like some pawn in his fucking game. I'm not even human to him. I'm just something that you use and then apparently just blow up if something doesn't go right.
Oh, so I don't even think Dick really goes far enough to describe your dad.
She smiles a bit beneath all the tears and says, "Oh, I never liked my dad, and I always knew he was an asshole, but this takes it all. I'm scared. I don't know. I don't want to have to fight. I don't want to do this."
Well, and Jimenez checks his watch or his agent. All right. So let's. And he starts writing. He's going to look around. Does Jimenez see anything like drone or something recording,
Nope.
watching this?
No, you
Nope.
though by the time you have this conversation, you hear people entering Club Underground. The tech staff for tonight. They're basically gonna put up lighting and everything. So you are in the locker room for the moment, the two of you alone. But if you were to go out of the locker room, like you would see other people.
Is there a back alley or something that we can
Mm-hmm.
exit out?
Yeah, the fire exit.
Okay.
Well, not even the fire exit. Just the entrance and exit for like the fighters, because you don't want them to go in through the same door as everyone.
Yeah. Okay. So Jimenez is just going to grab a clipboard and paper and says he's just going to write. He's like, okay, so I get it. We should probably just take some time now to run through an alternate plan just to make your dad happy and make his plan go. And he's going to write on his clipboard and say, it just says play along. We're going to try to get that tooth out.
She nods.
Okay, so I think we're gonna need some cuffs. We're gonna need some more kendo sticks. Maybe a strap as he starts walking her out and makes his way back to the apartment.
Do you attempt to go back to the apartment through like the main streets, or do you try to sneak through the alleys?
He's gonna take back alleys and such to get there.
Can you make a stealth check in that case? Just to see how inconspicuous you can.
See how inconspicuous parkour can be. 20.
Yeah. If someone was to try to follow you, they would have a very, very hard time. And you get to the apartment in a few hours. You know, however, that you're cutting it close.
Yeah.
With the you'll be needed at Club Underground, you and Stephanie, in maybe an hour and a half. Otherwise, it's gonna look suspicious and cause delays.
Sure.
But you get to the apartment complex.
Okay. And he's going to lead her up to Prax's place, and with this clipboard, and he's just going to knock on Prax's door.
Cool. Hey, yeah? What?
Hey, so I need some. I'm going to need some additional props and such for the match. And he's going to hold up the clipboard and says that, and on it's going to be written, "We need a jammer right now."
She'll just smile and nod and like bring in. It's like, oh, so we need more props. Okay. And she like pushes a negligent button like right inside her door where she's basically hardwired the lights that she has and that sync to the music also sync as a wired jammer system because it's just a giant radio tower that
You hear someone fall down in your bathroom. And a fuck!
Mark, what did you do and why did you do it?
My legs don't work anymore.
Okay, so that's a problem. That's a problem. Hey, Jimenez, can you check on my brother? Because he's that's my brother. And that's just weird. And apparently, his legs don't work anymore. And I need to call the doc to fix that. Well, we both gotta fix that. Hi! And she'll like turn to Steph and be like, hi, welcome. I'm sorry, I'm so rude. My name's just Trinzastelli and this is my place. Can I get you something? And she'll like try and pretend to actually be the hostess that her mother wanted her to be. Well, at the same time, you're like yelling at her brother, be like, yeah, we're gonna help you with that. Just calm down and chill. Chill, just wait.
Can you get the? Yeah, we're gonna need the doc. We need some.
And she just blinks her eyes a couple times to pull up the chat function on the Cyber Eye, and then sends an SOS, like emergency SOS message to the doc. And everyone in the group chat. She just basically starts spamming the group chat with like everything.
In the meanwhile, Jimenez is just going to go into the bathroom and avert his eyes and says, "Man, sorry about that. Let me help you out."
Why are you averting your eyes? I have literally nothing to hide anymore. And you hear Mercutio's voice coming from the shower.
Not like you had a lot to begin with.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just trying to avoid as many distractions as possible before my match tonight.
Yeah, sure. Can you just help me up?
Yeah, and he will do so.
And you see when you put it, like, help bring him up, there are, like, little sparks coming out of the joints in his legs. And there's a bit of water in the shower.
Jesus Christ. Aren't these supposed to be protected from water?
Yeah, apparently they're like a really shit model. I'm gonna have to have my sister do something with it. Shut up.
Okay, well, let's get you out of this running water before, your legs become an impossibly bad toaster.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that. And you, he motions you to, like, guide him to the couch where he sits normally to watch Combat Cab.
Yeah, so he will lift him over onto the couch, throw a blanket over him just to, not to ruin the scenery.
Mm-hmm. And during that time, everybody else received a message. What do you do when you get that SOS on Discord? I mean, group chat.
I'll grab my gun and go to her apartment.
So I get drink. So like she opens the door for Jinx and is like smiling and waving. It's like, hi, we have guests. You should come meet. Also,
Right.
I'm probably gonna have to fix my brother's legs, and that's gonna be weird. But come on in.
Why is taking care of your brother weird?
Okay, because they had to like replace everything from the waist down. Everything.
I've seen worse.
Yeah, but it's my brother.
Right, but you're not exactly looking at your brother's dick now, are you? So
No.
it's a little less
Definitely not.
awkward.
I don't know. I think you should say that.
Shio was like in the room.
She wouldn't be saying that.
Oh
I don't know
yeah.
if she was saying that. She started with Jinx and she was talking with Jinx. And then if Reno messaged her, she'd still be talking with Jinx and answering Reno at the same time. So he probably heard her. Simon, are you muted?
I was muted.
He was muted.
Okay, good.
But Mercutio heard half of that conversation. Doc, you show up at the apartment after your work.
Yeah. Another day, another dollar.
That
She would also say, bring the full kit. We're gonna need it.
All right.
If we're operating,
Asuka now trying to lend maybe some. Oh, look at that! And Paulette now. Kyrie
Amino?
saying
Amino, somebody's got the wrestling match going.
Sorry, what? Oh,
That was. I thought I clicked something on my computer. It's like, what was that?
sorry.
it's inspiration.
All right. I did.
I was for half a second. I thought someone had hijacked the Zoom meeting, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
Okay, I was glad it wasn't just me.
No, I would just say if am I performing surgery or is it something else?
We're gonna take a tooth out, and we may or may not have to rewire my brother because apparently his legs don't work when the jam is on.
Yeah, I only got time for one of those right now. Get the tooth over to my apartment now.
Okay.
I'll be upstairs in just a minute.
I think she's got a spy thing going, so we'll stay in my apartment until you get here, because my brother don't matter as
Okay.
much.
And then Mr. White would make his way up to that apartment, flip on his personal jammer, and walk Stephanie to his.
But before you do that,
Mm-hmm.
right as you're about to leave your shift behind,
Oh,
you got the message, you get ready to leave, and the alarms go off. Give me just 2 seconds. I need to find their names again. Boutros
mm-hmm.
shows up in the garage saying, Doc, we've got an emergency. We have to go.
Where?
North side. Someone is acting up, and we believe that dispatch believes that he's probably going to be a danger to himself very, very soon. Also, he's asking for you. dispatch didn't give me anything. But they said male, 50s, works at a library, I think they said.
Interesting.
Look, we're gonna have to go.
Yeah, of course we do. We just have to stop someone else first. Let's go. Everybody mount up. Sin, my place. Faster than anyone allows you to drive.
Aye, aye, sir. And you take off in your Aerodyne vehicle and make your way to your apartment.
Mhm.
Which nobody questions really among your team. Like, they know that if something goes down, like, it's they trust you.
Mm-hmm. I'll have Sin literally park by the fire escape of Trinz's apartment, and over the internal comm to my group, I will say, fire escape, Stephanie and Jimenez now. We don't have time.
Cool, we got you. And Trins has the corner apartment that's also next to the fire escape and the doors, and she's kind of rigged the because she was trapped in a building that got lit on fire once before, so she's a little proactive in her defense at this point. So she's rigged the window to kind of open, but it's got like a ledge that'll drop down so that she could, like, as she opens the window, the sill extends like an extra like 10, 5-10 feet, or 3-5 feet. So then you put the emergency ladder off of that, basically, but it's all one piece. And she kind of looks at Reno and is like, I can build you one of these too if you want. And then it's like, there's your exit.
As the AV rolls up, the doors will open.
Doesn't your vehicle fly?
Yeah,
We could park it right there.
that's exactly what we're doing. And I'll just look at the, look at Jimenez and say, come on, we'll get you taken care of on the way.
All right, let's go. Come on, Seth. Walk and talk.
And I will turn to, or I'll tell Sin, special exec mode, fully private. Nothing in and out of this vehicle until we make it to our original, our call. Understood?
All right.
I will then literally look at the rest of look at Boutros and the rest of them and say, emergency tooth extraction. And I'll turn to Bo and Pilar and say, be prepared for an explosion if everything goes wrong.
Wait, what?
You
Yeah.
try and save the explosive for me?
No time for that.
Aww.
And I pull out my personal jammer, I flip it on, and I stick it to the table, and I get to work. And I just kind of look at Stephanie and say, introductions later. I need you to lay down, open your mouth, and, well, I don't know. Think happy thoughts.
All right, happy thoughts.
And Boutros, hopefully at this point, is going to give her, we need her awake, so Novocaine or something of the sort. Dead in the area.
And you get to work. That is going to require a very... Actually, it's not going to require a first aid check, because it's removing a tooth. You've been doing surgery that is so much more difficult than this.
Mm-hmm.
However, because the least amount of excessive force might detonate the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
any mistake might be fatal. It is going to be a concentration check.
Okay.
And it's going to be the same concentration check, the same DC as it would be to put the thing in the first place. So the same DC as with a, like putting the cyber implant in. Which
Wish me luck.
I'll just give you the thing first.
I already bet my luck, so let's just pray. So it doesn't matter. I don't have any luck to blow. So
Oh, okay then.
that's all I got.
11. Surgery N is for negligible. Okay, so if it's anything but an N, it's an N. Jesus, okay. Wow.
I mean, it's simple.
Yeah, I guess it's just like plugging in a fake tooth, so it's nothing too hard to do.
Its value is in its ability to be discreet, not in its difficulty.
Yeah, you get the tooth out. I thought it would be more of a challenge, but I was ready to blow up a car.
That was a big challenge. I will drop them off at Club Underground.
You realize that 11 was the minimum you could. Without
That was a
fumble.
2. Anything less, and I would have fumbled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it takes about a half hour to do this. And she, by the way, because it's a cyber tooth, if you will, she doesn't feel anything. Regardless of the Novocaine you gave her, there
Oh,
are no
okay.
nerve endings.
Well, then in that case, I wouldn't have worried about it because I would have known that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I just would have gotten to work as we headed over to Club Underground, dropped them. Well, yeah, dropped them off,
All right.
and
Jimenez.
then
Yeah.
I guess we'll be late. Enjoy.
But we'll discover that after the break. Stick around, everyone. Go get some refreshments, stretch, do all these things. We will be back in about 5 to 10 minutes as we get ready for 1 or 2 last little encounters and then the big fight. See you later. back, everyone. While we are doing this new next scene, I will also set up, as we do every Friday night for Cyberpunk, we are giving away a copy of the Cyberpunk Jumpstart Kit, the one that we use to make these characters. If you want to try out Cyberpunk, if you want to play like we do here on Wandering DM, and you want to do so at home, use code !dentist to enter our giveaway. We'll play one scene, and then we'll do the giveaway. And that one scene is finishing up with Mr. White. You've dropped Jimenez and Crazy Princess at Club Underground and flew as fast as you could to the location of this reckless individual.
As fast as Sin could, not as fast as I could.
No, that's true. As fast as Sin could. Just so you know, your AV can go up to 150 miles per hour.
Mm-hmm.
So you cross the city in a blink.
She's a former street racer. I'm sure she can handle it.
Yeah, and you know, air traffic is not what it used to be. So you've pretty much got to clear.
And as we head, I'm calling one of our normal contacts at NCPD and letting them know that the individual that's called for me in particular is known to be mentally unstable and a known gang member, and that any units in the area should approach with caution.
The only answer you've got from the dispatch is Roger. Do we need to send the Psycho Squad?
To be determined. But I don't want any of your people getting hurt before we find out what this individual's state is. And I'm I'm making eye contact with, you know, Bo and Pilar and Boutros while I'm saying this, so that way they kind of understand what to be prepared for. As soon as I'm off with NCPD, which is probably about the time we get there, I'd look at Boutros and say, "You can stay in the AV. I really don't know what they want, and I don't know how safe it is. And we need somebody with medical ability to bail our ass out if something goes horribly, horribly wrong. Sin, Maddie, keep your angles and lines of fire, or keep Maddie's angles and lines of fire clear. If things do go wrong, Maddie, take this asshole out. I don't care. Just no collateral damage if you can help it."
Sure thing. Also, congratulations, Madeline. Please send me a DM by Twitter or Twitch. We'll send you your Jumpstart Kit as soon as possible. You survey the scene, or actually Sin surveys the scene with the AV. It's a lone person. You recognize them as the librarian. They are standing outside in a bathrobe, most of their cyber implants clearly showing, and they're waving a gun around and screaming and yelling. I want to speak with White. Not White, sorry, Frost. I want to speak with Frost.
I will have Sin drop me, not super close, but close enough. I'll look at Pilar and Bo and say, "If you want to come down, you can take the flanks. If you want to stay up here, I don't blame you."
They Pilar is actually going to come down, though I think your AV had a gun mount on it. Yeah, Maddie's
Yeah.
gonna stay in the AV.
Yeah,
but-
Maddie's usually the one that stays there.
Yeah, but Pilar is gonna follow you.
What about Bo? Bo's the other security.
Yeah, Bo's going to drop on the other side so that Bo and Pilar basically flank him,
Okay.
pincer
Perfect.
him if there's anything. Well,
I
not
will-
exactly like one across to the other, more like at a 45-degree
Yeah.
angle so they don't stand a chance to shoot at each other.
Well, they're former military. I trust them. Yeah. So I hop down.
When he sees you, he immediately just puts the gun down. Waves. They immediately put the gun down, I'm sorry, and wave. And they say, Doctor, is that you?
It's me. What seems to be the issue there?
I need your help, Doc. I need
You
your help.
oftentimes want my help. What's wrong now?
I can't stand it anymore, Doc. I have to... I don't like this. And they paw at their chest. Like this flesh, this whole body thing, that's not me. I need your help.
What happened? Tell me about it.
And you see their eyes are like not focusing on anything. And they say, I want to get rid of all of this. Doc, I know you can help me. I
Get rid of
need
what?
all of this. This arm, this leg, this... Don't you see, Doc? I'm a machine.
Who did you let work on you?
You notice that they do not have any more piece of cyber tech on them than they had last time.
Did you get an upgrade? New software? This isn't you.
It's just you that I trust. After we spoke about the chip, I came to the conclusion that I was made for more. I want to become a machine. I want you, and they take a step forward, like closer to you. I want you, Doc, to make me into what I am. What I truly am. Get rid of all this skin and muscle and tissue and make
You know
me.
what happens when that happens. You've seen it.
But I would be different. I am smarter than all of them, Doc.
It's not about how smart you are. It's about the biochemistry.
Nah. You're gonna say no like everybody else because you're afraid of doing it. You have the smarts and the skills to do it. Why don't you do it?
Why? Why would I ruin the beauty that is your brain? Your brain will atrophy. You cannot keep it alive without your body.
I will find a way then, Doc. I will find a way! And they take a few steps back, actually, and they bend down to reach for the pistol.
You
You hear
don't
the
understand.
Behind you.
You don't understand. You need to keep that on the ground. The distress call you sends up certain flags. If they see you as a threat, there's no more you.
I guess if you are not gonna do it, I'm gonna find someone who will.
You don't want to do that. There's a lot of people. Haven't you been reading? All the people losing themselves, being taken over by the technology. You can be better than all of them, but you have to hold on to your humanity. You have to be the perfect blend of both.
Make a persuasion check. Unless you're not trying to persuade him and just bide your time.
No, at this point, I'm trying to talk him down now that I realize that he is just losing his, or they're just losing, like, they're just losing it. Their grip on reality. This is typical behavior for someone that's starting to have cyberpsychosis, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen this a lot before. So yeah, I mean, 16 for persuasion. Trying to talk them down, mostly because I plan on drugging them up.
They, instead of reaching down for the pistol, run up to you and put their arms around you, begin crying. I just can't stand it, Doc. I just can't stand it anymore. I need to change.
Then we work on that. We work on why you can't stand it. Because this isn't you. You're better than this. We've talked about it many times.
And they release the embrace, take half a step back, and they're like, I'm gonna go back inside. I'm gonna go watch the match on TV.
Are you sure? Because I can give you something to help you calm down.
Yes. Anything. Give me anything.
Okay. And I will basically... Yeah, I'm just going to give them a sedative to help them relax. Something fast acting, but also that has some longevity. I want something with, you know, good 4 to 6 hour half-life or lifespan if possible.
Make sure to knock them out for the whole night.
No, I don't want them out. I just want them calm.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, for anti-anxiety meds, there are ones that are good for panic attacks. They're high spike, short lifespan in the bloodstream. I need something that's going to be a little bit more even keel. And so they can just kind of chill out for a while. So that way I can put in a call to have someone come by and pick them up, to have them evaluated. And I'll tell the librarian, I'll tell them, I'm going to have someone check on you. They're going to come and make sure you're okay. They might have to take you in for some tests. It's to make sure that that brain is still working right. Then we can talk about how you're dealing with it. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
But no more of this losing it, okay? Anytime that you feel like this, I need you to do one thing for me. I need you to focus. I need you to focus on one thing, one piece of information, one accomplishment, something that you know so well that other people maybe don't, something that you're proud of, and just remind yourself that you did that. And then after it subsides, reach out to me normally, not through dispatch.
All right.
Dispatch brings in all kinds of other problems.
Yeah. Yeah. No dispatch. Now I'm assuming right now that you gave them the sedative already.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so they're visibly calmer. No dispatch. No
No dispatch.
pistol.
No pistol.
Gonna watch the match now.
Watch the match now. Enjoy the match. And I'll come visit you after my shift is over. Well, I've got some other things to do, but I will come check on you, okay? But someone's going to come by first, and they're going to check on you and make sure you're all right, okay?
And they're not really. You notice that they're not really paying attention anymore. Like their gaze has already been like cast on their building, their apartment,
And kind of walking them that direction.
and they just nod like repeatedly. Yes, yes, no more. Just watching. Calm.
Now, what I'm going to do at that point is I'm going to take one of the trackers that I have, and I'm slipping it into his pocket, or their pocket of their bathrobe.
Okay.
And then we're headed back. Yeah.
Group. Jimenez is already at Club Underground. Reno, Jinx, Trins. Do you take off in time to be at the match?
Oh yeah, I won't miss the match. Once I've got everything set up on my phone and I can watch the camera, and I've done everything that I needed to do, I'll head out.
I have a quick question. Knowing what you know now about this whole situation, are any one of you armed?
I'm never not armed.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, that I pick up that pistol.
Oh, yeah,
Before I
sure.
leave the scene.
If you want the stats for it, it's
What type is it?
it's a light pistol, the one that does like 3d6. I think it's 3 or 2d6.
It's gonna be 2. A heavy pistol does 3.
Yeah, so it's 2.
I forgot something that I did want to do. This has been a week since the last episode, correct?
2 days.
Just 2 days. Never mind then. Okay, not enough time.
Okay.
Trin's rigs the projector to take over the combat cab so that, because she doesn't think she can fix Mark's legs right now. She's like, here, you want to watch the match, so you're going to watch the match. And then this way you don't watch the stupid, because that's just stupid.
It's good. Oh, in season 23.
Yeah, and but you would rather watch the stupid instead of a wrestling match. Are you feeling okay?
Oh no, I'll watch your neighbor's wrestling thing. I can watch that. Is there blood?
Yeah. Are you feeling all right? Because you're the one that wanted me to tape all these wrestling matches.
The DM had a bubble and then he remembered. That's true. He is a fan of Jimenez. Yes, fuck, I want to watch the match. Sorry, that is my bad out of game. Yes, please get my Jimenez shirt out of my closet.
Fine. And she'll like go and like grab his shirt, and then as she's leaving, drop it on his head, kind of thing. And it's like, don't break anything else.
I can't move.
Benedict, engage security protocols. Level Mark's home.
Locking everything down. It's like real funny.
I don't. Bye. Have fun. Enjoy. I get to go blow. I'm not gonna blow anything up tonight. Have fun. And she'll walk out the door. And she'll also like do one of those drop the remote things on his head as she walks by.
Do I have in these sound sets? I don't have an arena. I don't think I have anything with wrestling. Well then, we'll move to Jimenez. Jimenez, you were dropped at Club Underground with Stephanie Murphy, aka Crazy Princess, a half hour before your presence was actually required. Of course, you're gonna have to go through the whole, prepping for the show. You don't have a, you have a quick, like, tech rehearsal of everything, to ensure that, light is in the proper places, the cameras are set, the ring itself is okay, the cage is not going to break except when you give it a go. Is there anything you wanted to go over with Stephanie before the match, like last minute prep?
So the show hasn't started yet?
Nope.
Where
No, you have a few hours still.
Oh, okay. All right. So he's gonna look for someplace private and just tell Stephanie, hey, we should talk before we.
LFA's office. If you ask him, he can just give you room. He's busy on the floor, like making sure everything is set up and everything.
So he'll just grab a couple of bottles of water and lead Stephanie to the office.
She follows.
Okay, and he'll hand her the water and say, just have a seat. Let's chat a bit, because the more that went on this past hour than I had all of this week. So
Dad tends to do that.
So still got a couple of hours before the match. I just want to see, where's your head at? What are you thinking?
Right now, I'm at least not thinking I'm going to die.
Oh, bonus.
But also I can't help but to think about what's gonna happen after, since I'm fairly certain that I don't know what my father is going to do with me after the fight. I don't even know if he intended for me to survive tonight.
Well, you really can't go home again.
I fucking don't want to go home.
All right. Well, you don't have to. But you're, unless you have money or things in just your name, you're in a little bit of a pickle here.
I don't have a whole lot to my name. Everything went through Dad in the account.
Okay. Well, a little bit rough, but there are people who pulled themselves out of bad economic situations like this before. But here's the thing. You've got a match tonight. And this match could put you on the map and don't even think about fame or fortune or being popular. It can provide you with the means to independence. You could be on your own. Have to answer or rely on anyone.
Okay.
I'm not saying this to put any more pressure on you, but I just want you to feel excited because you're on the brink of something big here, regardless of the fact that you just had a rather murderous encounter with your father. But
Hard to get over that.
but my parents threw me out when I purposely flunked my freshman year at college. I had no place to go. They cut me off from tuition, threw me out of the house, and my parents weren't as wealthy as your dad is, but it was wrestling that brought me here today, and it's the reason why I can live on my own terms and not my parents. So thing is that I needed help, and I got that help, and I'm willing to give that help for you, but you got to trust me on this. And I know this is probably not the best time or place to feel a whole lot of trust in other people, and your whole lifestyle is going to change, but I can help you right that ship if you are willing to put the work in.
Why?
I'm just paying it forward. I mean, I'm getting something out of this too. Both people in a wrestling match, regardless of who wins and loses, can grow in this business if they do it right. Now, admittingly, you're not as seasoned as most of the other people on this roster, but that's okay. I can work around that. But we can get through tonight, but everything else after tonight is going to be a lot harder. But I promise you it'll be worth it if you stick with it.
She looks up for a second, and her expression changes completely from what she was becoming, calmer and more sure of herself as you were talking. And then she just goes white and says, "Shit, my dad's here."
How do you know?
As she looks up again, it says, Cyber Eye. You don't have one of those? Heads up display?
No, I do, but what are you tuned into?
Oh, he just sent me a message.
Oh. You with anybody?
I don't know, he just said, "I'm here." I don't know if he knows about the tooth. I don't know if he knows I got it out.
Okay. Jimenez is going to activate his comms and basically message in group chat. I got a problem. I got a Mr. Murphy here.
And you get that message about the time that you also arrive at Club Underground, the four of you. You don't see Mr. Murphy at first, but you do notice once Jimenez warns you, there is one... Oh no, Reno and Mr. White, you've seen Mr. Murphy before.
Mm-hmm.
When you went to the cafe.
Oh yeah, I know this asshole.
Yeah, he's flanked by 4 bodyguards.
That's fine. I've got a Matty.
But the 4 guards are dressed in like sweatshirts and jeans and just like regular outfit, and they immediately spread out in the crowd, leaving just one of them by Mr. Murphy's side.
Can I get a good gauge on them as they walk past? They look like they're not wearing any hidden body armor underneath their shirts. Like it just looks like normal. Are there any weird bulges anywhere, kind of thing?
Make a perception check.
Okay. Because that seems pretty strange at a place where they have a bomb planned. Is it gonna go?
Oh, not human perception, regular
Oh.
perception.
Perception. Yeah. 60.
One of them walks with the leg a little too straight. You figure probably hiding a shotgun in his pants.
I'm just gonna radio back to Mr. White and say, they're more armed than they look.
You do notice that they're baggy clothes. All four of them are wearing baggy clothes, probably to hide
Some
like a
kind of
light
body armor.
Kevlar vest underneath. Yeah.
Okay.
And they do not appear to have a lot of cyber implants, though you notice behind their left ear they all have what would be like a cochlear implant for us.
Mm-hmm.
But in this instance, it's probably not because they have like hearing issues. It's
Mm-hmm.
probably like a communication device, a communicator
Got
or
it.
something. It's not implanted though.
Okay.
One of them has the telltale titanium knuckles of the Big Knuck implant.
Gotcha.
And the third bodyguard, tallest of the bunch, moves with a slight hunch forward. But it doesn't seem like they're hiding anything. It might just be like they're like 6'6" and slightly hunched over. Like you know, when you spend your life on a computer and you start like
Okay.
leaning forward, kind of like that.
Bad posture, hunch forward, not
Yeah.
something strapped to his back, hunch forward.
No,
Gotcha.
that's it.
Okay.
And with the 16, you realize that when they split up, all four of them
Mm-hmm.
were carrying a small remote-like device, and that they shoved in their pockets.
I'll also rating that to White. Multiple backup plans. Did we get that bomb? Did we get the bomb out? Did we extract her tooth yet?
Yes.
Okay. I thought so. Where did we put the thing? the tooth bomb.
Prince's apartment.
Trin's apartment. Okay. Okay.
No. It was in the ambulance, the AV.
Yeah, you didn't drop it in the parking lot, did you?
No.
Okay.
We didn't drop it in the parking lot. We didn't fly over the parking lot.
How far away is it from our location?
How far away is it from our location?
Like, if the AV is parked outside?
No, like the AV's parked in the hospital garage, but the
Okay, that's
tooth
pretty
was
far.
last seen in the AV.
But what about now?
Right.
Well,
Where's the tooth?
I'm going to assume that wherever it is, it won't be
Close
can't
enough?
Be active. It can't be activated. I mean, if it was going to be, if they were able to activate it remotely, as far as it is now, they wouldn't need to be in the building.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a good
very
assessment, yes.
So Trins had spent the couple of days rigging the cage to fall correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Trins also had heard previously about this jaw being a problem, correct? And there being a bomb that needed to be dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
So Trins had come in with a bag of tools and looked at El Jefe and say, I'm just gonna do a last minute check on the cage, make sure it's all secure and everything.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then she'll go, hey Jinx, give me a hand with this. And she's
Yeah,
gonna
sure.
turn the cage, she's gonna have Jinx help her turn the cage into a Faraday cage.
How long would it take is what I'm wondering.
I mean, it's already a conductive material, right? The cage itself is all metal, and it's a mesh. So
Yes.
so she's already rigged it with various wires so that she could control the fall if she needed to. So it would just be basically rigging up certain other pieces to control the bottom of the Faraday cage and put it basically probably through the bottom of the ring effectively to make it a controlled.
Just point of order. It's not going to be unheard of for the combatants in the cage to actually make physical contact with the cage.
Which is fine. You can make contact with the Faraday cage.
Okay, it's just I just need to iterate that the point of a steel cage match is to escape the cage, and oftentimes people try to climb out of it.
Yeah, no, the thing about the Faraday cage is the cage itself you can have contact with, but the material is such that it blocks radio waves and electromagnetic waves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can stand inside the cage and have like someone tase the cage, and you put your hand on it and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to be clear on that point.
Yeah, no, you're not gonna get electrocuted. I'd say you don't have a whole lot of time, so.
Yeah. But I had already done a lot of rigging for this anyways, so.
Yes, it's just to turn it into a Faraday cage. I'll say, let's go with a basic tech DC-22, given the time that you have.
Cool. Do I get any help from having Jinx help me?
Jinx, do you have any ranks in basic tech?
I think I have 2.
Then that's enough to help.
Okay.
Cool.
Do I roll anything or?
So what is that?
I would say roll a d10, Jinx, and just a single d10. And Trins, if you want, you can use that d10 instead of yours.
Oh, okay.
On the
Versus
check.
when I on the check. All right.
Could you remind me how to do that, please?
R/
No, /R.
Wait. Yes,
/R.
/R.
Space 1d10. Okay, thanks.
Sorry.
I'm gonna say I'm probably gonna spend. I might spend 2 of my luck. I'm gonna spend 2 of my luck on this. For a 22.
Right on the dot. It is now immune to electricity.
And radio waves. Electromagnetic waves. Thanks, Jinx.
You're welcome.
And she's just gonna like it's entirely just having her hold things and help her, and then she'll like wave at Hefe and get out of the way. And it's like, out of curiosity, where is Mr. Murphy sitting?
Right now, Mr. Murphy is still by the door, giving the stink eye to Reno and Mr. White as they come in. He seems to just be surveying the whole place, not sitting anywhere, not probably looking for someone in particular. But he was among the first people to come in.
then Trins would just be like, we should get good seats. And she'll start guiding Jinx to the best seat where you won't, like, right where, because she knows which way the cage is going to fall. Right where, you can watch this but not have to.
Oh, well, I was gonna go find a spot that's
Oh yeah, you do you. Thank you. And she'll
Yeah.
like take her stuff back and just, I'm gonna sit right here and watch everybody.
I was gonna find a spot. Is there like rafters, or is there like, I imagine, are there people controlling like spotlights?
Everything would be controlled remotely from the ground.
Okay, but there are like,
There'd have to be a catwalk though, so you could change the bulbs at least.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's the, in my mind, I picture Club Underground, and correct me if I'm wrong, Anino, but it's the height of like a school gymnasium.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. So yes, there is like a sort of catwalk up there to change the lights and all that.
okay, so basically what I wanted to do was find a nice dark corner where I have a view of the whole place, so that if things go down and shooting starts, well, I have my spot to snipe from.
I'm gonna need you to make a stealth check if you want to sneak away in a dark corner. Nobody in attendance seems to see you sneak away and climb up to the catwalk. Nino, you had something you wanted to say?
Okay. So he's going to be talking with Stephanie and says, right, so, well, we can't cause a scene, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to have someone be ready with a car for you to hop into, and once our match ends, and they'll take you away.
Okay.
And he'll relay that plan to the rest of the team about just having a getaway vehicle ready as close to the locker room as possible.
That's a good question. Who and which car? Because right now your designated driver is in a sniper's nest.
Would you rather
I
I
think-
drive? I
Well,
can drive.
no, because Trent's drove the getaway car, bleeding, mind you, that last time. So I think
Trent's-
we'd be okay there.
Trins would like glance up, just kind of do one of those, like, was putting her stuff back, realize, hear the conversation about needing a car, realize that Jinx is acting as the sniper, sigh, walk out the back door, and take a look around the parking lot at what's the options she has. And to see.
Hey, bonus points if you see Mr. Murphy's ride there.
Yeah, don't do that.
Oh, what? Don't jack Mr. Murphy's ride?
You heard me. Don't do that.
Do I see Mr. Murphy's ride? Is there anyone actually in the vehicle at the moment? Cool. She's gonna walk over to it. What kind of car is it? Cool. She's just gonna like look at this and go, oh, it's such a shame. You ran over too many things in the road, and pop her hands and then just pop the tires. Simon, you're muted.
It's a Mercedes, is what I was getting at. I'm sorry.
Trins is not jacking this car. She is, however, very aware of what happens when you boost the car. You need to make sure that your people who are following you cannot do so. So she's going to just pop all 4 tires. Because you don't just pop one, because there's probably a spare in the car. You got to make sure you do 4, because no one carries 4 tires. And she would also possibly look around and find, like, you know, like a trash can, and find, like, just something that's in the trash can, you know, leftover takeout wrapper or something, and shove it in the exhaust pipe. And then okay, it's electric. Oh, that's even better.
His car is electric, though. Yeah.
That's even better.
I keep muting myself.
Yeah, don't mute yourself. See, she's gonna reach into her tool bag and pull out her little thing that she built. She built in the first 2 episodes as the portable EMP, and just like reach under the hood of the car and let the EMP go off inside the hood of the car.
Okay.
Underneath the hood of the car. And then go around and see if she can't find something nice to jack for later.
I say you will find... I was wanting to give you a Pinto, but...
I can make a Pinto dope as fuck. Don't fight me on that Pinto.
No,
But-
you're gonna have a Toyota Chevrolet 17 Chevy. When Toyota and Chevy merged, they created a 2017 model, which became iconic and is now, you know, it's not the average car,
Yeah.
but it's like the car that you see everywhere. It's a good, reliable vehicle.
Cool. And she just click her teeth and send back, "Ride's taken care of." And then walk back inside, you know, acknowledge where the car is, walk back inside, get comfy and watch.
All right.
And she would then say, "And I didn't take anything of Mr. Murphy's, although he might find traveling difficult."
No, it's fine because we're going to have a chat with Mr. Murphy right after the show. We should probably have some backup, but you know. So the plan is Trins will get Stephanie back to 2077 Pondsmith Ave, and we'll have a showdown with Mr. Murphy and his guards.
Cool. So I'm not getting shot again, is what you're saying.
I am not going to promise that because you just seem to be bullet prone.
Whatever.
But you know, I'm imagining they're all going to go to the car and then realize they can't really do anything, and that's when, you know, and Mr. White and Jinx will be ready with guns pointed at their car. And we're going to have a civil discussion.
But not right now.
No, right now we're going to have a hell of a show.
Let me put another music than what I just found, because that just didn't work. How about this? Okay, not with the saxophone, thank you. Nah. I think that would work. Can everyone hear the drums? Or am I sharing nothing at the moment?
I cannot hear anything.
Mm-mm.
Wow. Oh, that's why. Now you should hear the drums. Yeah, chat did, but my share wasn't working in Zoom. So, I'm gonna try to do my best Kentucky Hawkeye impression. And welcome everyone to Club Underground. Tonight we have a slew of fights for you. Yay! We'll begin with against in a match for anyway, we're presenting all the other fighters, and then our star match of the evening, Crazy Princess against Jimenez in a cage match to defy all cage matches. People cheer, people boo. There's people walking around in the aisle selling synthetic hot dogs and popcorn and the likes. Of course, there's plenty of chew too for anyone who would like some cheap alcohol, and or keep their glass of beer to fuel their cars after. We go through the matches. It's an interesting night, but you all know what to look for. You all know what's going down tonight, and you keep an eye out on a few people in the audience. From your nest, Jinx, you can see them. All four of them. Mr. Murphy. Mr. Murphy sat like in the middle of the crowd. Like, not a good seat, nothing. He has a view of the ring, but he could have probably gotten any seat he wanted. It seems like he's doing it on purpose for to not be seen or to not cause a commotion or anything. And then the lights go out one by one. Spotlights begin to illuminate the carpet coming up to the ring. Our first contender for tonight's cage match, as the cage is lowered, I guess, onto the ring. Coming from the East Coast of the new United States, weighing at pounds. Because I don't know, Jimenez, what's your weight?
240.
Weighing at 240 pounds, our heavyweight, is it heavyweight?
Yeah.
Our heavyweight resident, you're not a champion, resident fighter, Jimenez. What kind of music do we hear?
Cheers go off all over the crowd.
Yeah. So Jimenez just lazily strolls out of the curtains to Jane by Jefferson Starship. He's got a big cup of iced coffee with a big Found Familiar logo on it. And he sort of sips on that, and he just glances at the crowd and makes his way down to the ring. Goes through the cage door to open, and he sort of just leans back in his corner and then just lounges there while he sips a coffee.
And now, coming from the heights of wealth in Night City, the Princess of the Ring, the craziest fighter, she who was forced many a gym to close, a force to be reckoned with, Crazy Princess. And she doesn't come out. It takes a few seconds of silence for her to finally come out, doing her regular routine of pirouettes and somersaults, waving at the crowd. She approaches the ring, climbs inside, and blows a kiss at Jimenez and at the crowd. Not a lot of people are cheering her. Yep.
Yeah. One of the things that he's going to instruct her to do is to go under the ring and pull out all sorts of implements like trash cans, kendo sticks, ladders, tables, and just heave them into the ring before the door shuts and she enters, because this is going to get nuts.
She brings out a bunch of things from under the ring, and she gets in. The crowd quiets down a bit. The referee comes in, mic in hand, and hands her the mic. She goes, "Where's my dog, thief?"
Who? He's actually just going to shrug and just says, "If you want your dog, you're just gonna have to win first."
The referee goes to like take the mic, and she pushes him aside, takes the microphone, and throws it in your general direction.
He's just gonna let it bounce off his chest and fall to the ground, and then he'll finger guns point at her, and that's sort of his and just say whatever, and that's her signal. That's his signal to her to pull out her fake gun and on him and do that shtick.
Yeah, she gets angry. The referee goes to her to try to like calm her down or whatever, and she pushes him again and gets from behind like the small of her back, she gets a gun out and she points it at you, and everyone in the crowd goes
See Jimenez just hold up his hand and sips his coffee, and then when he drops his finger, he's gonna spray it out like his patented coffee poison mist all over her face. And he had instructed her to ham it up and act as if she was blind and drop the gun and just start screaming.
Which she does. And you notice the four of you, if you look, the rest of the group, if you look at Mr. Murphy from time to time, he does not seem amused whenever Jimenez does something to his daughter.
Curiosity.
I guess that's not too weird. I
Out
don't
of curiosity,
see what
just a simple question. What kind of seating is arranged here?
It's like chairs on the ground.
Okay.
Like plastic folding chairs.
No bleachers?
No, the gym doesn't have bleachers.
Cool, good to know.
And so once he does that, he's just going to toss the cup away, and then he's going to start the wrestling match and lock up. And he's going to start with like traditional moves that's going to clearly show that he's outclassing her in some manner. Tried just to get the crowd into the fight immediately.
Can you make a play instrument check? And because she is helping, I will roll a d10 and you can choose either. So you can choose her 3 if you roll under a 3.
Oh, 20.
With a 3, actually. So, the fight goes spectacularly well. Would you mind going through some of the highlights for us?
Yeah, so it's he instructed her to ham it up and oversell it in sort of a asshole Shawn Michaels kind of sense. So he's going to do a lot of like power moves, clotheslines, throwing her to the ropes, grappling and such, and she's going to flop and fly around like a fish. But he's actually very careful to make sure that she lands properly. And having worked with her, he kind of knows how her cyber skills work. So he knows just how to move in such a way to trigger them into the kind of response that he needs her to do to make it look real. And so this is going to go on for like 2 or 3 minutes as the crowd is building up a crescendo. And then that's when he's going to tell Crazy Princess to flip the switch and do something heelish, like pretend to poke his eyes out, and then reach for the weapons and then just start hammering him. So he instructed her to be like really hardcore and vicious, like throwing real punches at him, hitting him with weapons, choking him, things like that, because he doesn't really trust her to do real super wrestling moves. So he's just going to instruct her to do a lot of strikes because he feels like he can sell that the most. He wants and he's doing this because what he wants the crowd to do is buy into her as being a really crazy, tough as nails person.
So you basically let yourself be punched and hit. Okay. Over the course of the whole match, you will lose 5 hit points.
Okay.
From just general pummeling, because she's not holding back.
Sure.
And she even goes at some point for like a high kick across the side of your face. And other moves that are less, like that you see less in wrestling and more in like actual fighting.
Yeah.
But because her strikes, like instead of just stopping short with the elbow, she actually leans into it and really elbows you in the chest or what have you. At some point, she takes the trash can, puts it over your head, and like kicks you around as you bounce across the ring. She even gets her pistol at one point, and instead of firing or anything because it's not real, but she goes behind you and like hit you in the back of the head with it to like knock you down. And she sells it really good, like how the shtick that she used to have, the person that cheats, the person that could do everything because she had money, so she could get away with everything. However, at some point in the match, I would like all 5 of you to make a perception check, except that Jimenez, you are going to have to check the under stress modifier.
Okay.
Because you're being occupied, like busy by something else. Trends, you don't see shit.
No. Trends is focused on on the mechanics that she put together.
Me?
Yeah, 14, 17, 19, 13. Actually, all of you, except for Trins, who's too busy making sure that the cage works, you notice at some point Mr. Murphy nodded slightly. And one of the bodyguards got the remote out and started pressing frantically on it. And all 5 of you hear an explosion coming from outside Club Underground. It starts small. And then goes into a chain reaction. The walls shake. The catwalk at the top shakes. The cage shakes so much that you're afraid it's going to break. And that's when Crazy Princess looks at you, Jimenez, and just nods subtly to, like, let you know to, you know, kick her out. And because it's probably going to be now or nothing.
Yeah. So so Jimenez just starts fighting back, and it's pretty savage. He makes it look savage. And he just starts knocking her around with strikes of his own, chain wrestling, and then he sets her up on the ropes just outside of the cage that is rigged to fall. And you know, he'll step back and he'll do he will start mimicking Ice Dragon's was that his name? Ice Dragon?
Yep.
I think. Yeah. He'll mimic Ice Dragon's move set up, and then he'll run at her and try to do the drop kick, but he will miss just slightly and kick the cage down instead.
And if I remember right, you fall down with the cage.
Yeah, he will fall down with the cage, but he will land on the cage. But on his way through, he's going to catch Crazy Princess and roll her down the cage so that she gets onto the floor before him. And then El Jefe is going to has instructions to come out and pull her up in a way to.
Yeah, the moment this happens, actually, there's these explosions. She signals you. You run at her. Kick, dive kick into the cage. As this is happening, the crowd is starting to panic, not knowing if the explosion was part of the show or was something else. You have a good portion of the crowd that begins to just slowly get up and look for the exit. Everyone is confused as to what's happening, but most people are still riveted by the fight. El Jefe comes out to take Stephanie and bring her outside. And that's when the 4 bodyguards get up from their seats. And they're all looking in the direction of Crazy Princess.
Mr. White will jump up at that point and start cheering. Fucking legit. Throwing his hands up in the air, like waving them up in the air, like trying to get other people to just jump up and start yelling fucking legit from the crowd.
Even though he lost?
I think the crowd would, their response would be, the announcer comes on, and the winner of this match is Crazy Princess. And Menez is just standing there on the fence with his hands on his hips going, what the fuck, really? And, Crazy Princess should be pointing and laughing at Jimenez as she walks out with her arms up in victory.
Can Trins run up like a fan and or a supporter and kind of takes her own jacket and tries to put the jacket on Crazy Princess to make it look like, oh, this was what an entirely thing. It's be the groupie that helps her out the door kind of thing.
You can. I'm just looking for something for Jimenez for 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Jimenez, can you make a cool check? So a D10 plus your cool? times 200.
Uh, D10 plus 200, you say?
A d10 plus your cool times 200.
Right. So 16 times 200 is 3,200.
Yeah. Right now in the arena, there is less than 3,200 people. All of them, except for the bodyguards, rise up and cheer at what's happening. The confusion and chaos it creates makes it very hard for the bodyguards to get to Crazy Princess in time. Trins, you manage to get closer to her as El Jefe's bringing her outside. Well, outside, through like where the lockers are. The announcer announces the winner. Jimenez looks completely defeated, or dumbfounded, I should say. Mr. Murphy is pissed, and he begins to part the crowd to go outside when someone comes back in and yells something incomprehensible. It takes a few seconds, but it sparks like oof. I don't know. It spreads out in the crowd very quickly, and everyone begins to panic. You hear the words bombing in the parking lot. Someone bombed the parking lot. All the cars are destroyed. Extensive damage. Terrorists. Booster gangs. All of these words mixed together. Nobody knows what's happening. And then the trample begins.
I guess we found the tooth.
Mr. Murphy puts a hand to... Yes, you did. Puts a hand to his ear and mutters a few words. And you get a call, Reno, from Bex.
They're on our way to the apartment. I say before I answer the phone.
There's a lot of people here. Black fans. I'm hiding behind the counter. I don't know what they're doing. They're getting people out. They're getting people out. And you hear shouting and you hear bang, bang in the background. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
My cat! Oh my gosh! Next week, let's do it!
Everything's in chaos. You have to deal with so many things at once all of a sudden.
Oh my god.
I forgot to mention
I knew I shouldn't have left it. I never checked my phone! Ah!
The 4 bodyguards, by the way, I forgot to mention, when Crazy Princess went out the door, changed their course, and they're going towards Jimenez.
Okay, good. I'm not gonna get shot again.
I had my gun trained on them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I appreciate that, but also I'm really glad I moved that car.
So we'll begin probably with combat next week. Next week might be a lot of combat. Might be a combat-heavy episode. So let's go around the table. Tell us who you are, where we can find you, what you have going on. If you have anything to plug, go right ahead. You can put links in chat. I just want to say thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you to all of you who followed, who donated. Thank you for just hanging out in chat. It's always fun to chat with people and to see what you have to say about the game. Thank you to all of our sponsors. I'll do the spiel again later after we're done with everyone. But let's go around the table opposite order from earlier, and let's begin with Reno.
Yeah, that's me, Adelaide Gardner, Adelaide at Adelaide on Twitter. Wednesday, I have a Gold Heart Gaming game, and I believe this upcoming week we are finally releasing my company's first game, Monsters of Merca, which is a political and American cultural satire game for 5e, as well as announcing our next 2 upcoming games, which I'm very, very excited about. So stay tuned for that. Check out the announcements. We're also having a giveaway, like a big giveaway, so that'll be fun.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you for coming. Next up, Jimenez.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Nino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. Wow, things went up creek very, very quickly tonight. Let's see. I think the next stream that I'm doing will probably be either tomorrow or Sunday. Tomorrow is Invisible Sun on Otherdocs channel. That is tentative. And then on Sunday at 7 p.m. is another episode of Dark Matter, DM'd by Origami Shuriken. And then you'll find me back here again on Monday night at 8 p.m. playing Wukong, the Gorilla Mech, in Legacy with Simon D and Dr. Kelly Lane. So tune in for that.
Thank you for coming, Anino. Next up, Jinx.
Hey, sorry. I'm Ren, at Heaven's Night on Twitter and Burns Through the Rain and Twitch chat. You can find me here at Cyberpunk, where hopefully we'll be able to shoot things and other fun things. So had a lot of fun tonight and chat. You're always awesome. And yeah, that's about it.
And you can find Jinx playing FF7 for the next week and a half.
Don't talk to me. I'm not alive. I do not exist for this weekend.
Next up is Mr. White.
Oh, we had lots of interesting things happen tonight, didn't we, chat? It was lovely. Appreciate all the comments, all of the interactions. You guys keep things entertaining for us as we out here in Night City doing our things. I'm Chris Geary. You can find me on Twitter at Chris Geary. You can find me here on Fridays. Strandager House has finished its season 1 finale and is on hiatus for a while anyway. But next week on Wednesday, I am commandeering this channel to do something for 3 hours from 8 to 11. Might be reading cards for people in the audience for your original characters or whatnot. Might be doing a few other things. I have a poll up on my Twitter, my pinned tweet. So I could be doing fortunes for the audience. I could be talking about player engagement theory or science of games, or just shut up and read the cards. But whatever it is, go ahead and vote and let me know. I'll be doing it as part of a flash fundraiser for the for a local hospital network here in Indianapolis. We're raising money for the caregivers on the front line. So we'll talk more about that after Simon's done, before we leave tonight. But yeah, that's me right now. And still working on the game Omens Rising. You can always play test for me in one way, shape, or form, just by finding me on Twitter and sending me a DM.
Thank you for coming, Chris. And yeah, we'll talk about this charity event all week next week after Deirdre.
Hey y'all, you know me. I'm at Deirdre Donlan on Twitter or Proxcore Thesmiaphorias. You see me hanging out in the Twitch chat. I was having fun. I was very glad that people stressed not to take that car. But at the same time, she probably wouldn't have taken that car because it was much too nice for the area and would have been an obvious boost. You know, you want a getaway vehicle, not a chop job. But as for me, Hi. You can find me Monday back here for fun things with Anino and Kelly and Simon as we try and survive whatever's happening in the apocalypse and giant wasps. On my channel, you can come hang out with us on Tuesdays through Fridays at 11 a.m. where we do classics on Twitch. They are live dramatic readings of various classical plays.
We just made Simon do a lot of sex jokes this morning. It was great fun.
It was great. It was a lot of fun. We did Lysistrata and we made Simon be all the men. Sorry, Simon. Thanks for being willing.
There was a lot of men.
There was a lot.
Yeah.
There was a lot.
Was it raining men?
It was well.
The men were all wet, is all I can say.
It is a plot point.
There was also a kitten at one point who was enacting the.
Yes, there was
Oh,
a
yeah.
kitten. There was a kitten enacting one of the characters. But yes, we do plays, we do fun things, we embrace things, and we just have a lot of fun. Come hang out. I post the going live and what we're doing as I figure them out. And also want to thank again Chris Gary for his wonderful assistance, because he is one of the two people who helped me do the wonderful introductions for that series, and he does a fabulous job with the wonderful dulcet tones that he provides. And on Wednesday, over on Tales from the Grim, we have the season premiere of season 2 of Witcher Family of Wraiths, and Gunthrow Dim just dropped a sorceress, an elf, three witchers in front of Novigrad. And he's like, this is the better location. Yeah, it'll be fun. But other than that, check my Twitter because I always post where I'm going to be and all the games that I write and all the fun things that I do. And I just like to talk to people. So come say hi.
And I am Simon at Wandering DM. Thank you, everyone, again for coming. Thank you to all of you watching on YouTube. It's always greatly appreciated to know that we have fans on the other platform. I will probably be doing an impromptu stream tomorrow. I'm not quite sure yet, but I did receive my codes for Telspire, so I would like to share with people, if I'm allowed, what this new virtual tabletop is. So I might be tinkering around with it and probably show it to people as I'm doing so. Otherwise, you can find us all week here. Next week, we're doing a special charity week where we're going to be gathering money, any money that we raise from bits, from subs, from donations. It's all going to go to benefit the... I need to get my email again. The Health Network Foundation in Indianapolis, just like Chris mentioned earlier, to be able to give meals to... my words.
Would you like me to take over?
Yes, please take over.
Yeah. So it's a flash fundraiser that we're doing this next week. Simon's channel is doing a bunch of stuff. Each one of the shows you can donate that week, and your donations will go to the Community Health Network Foundation, to their Greatest Caregiver Need Fund, which specifically looks for emergency areas of need, excuse me, for any of our caregivers as part of the network. And right now we're focused on raising some money for food during this pandemic. Nurses, a lot of times, they forego things like lunch in order to take care of patients. And so for $6.50, it'll cover the cost of providing a freshly made and safely delivered meal to them in COVID positive units. So that way they can have something, obviously not in the room with the patient, but there for them in the nurse's lounge to eat. There's also, let's see, for 20, I think it's like $27 or $28, it puts together a family meal for them to take home. So they have one less thing to worry about when they go home after work, to be able to feed their families, because many of them also do caregiving at home. And then last but not least, there's also some of that money will also go towards providing snack bars in those nurses' lounges in order for people to eat on the go if they don't have the time to actually sit down for a full meal, but to keep them fueled and their brains focused on the people they're serving during this time. So it's a simple, quick little way to help out. As an aside, Kelly at the Opera Geek, she will also be involved with her Wednesday night stream. So if you don't come hang out with me next Wednesday, go hang out with her. For her channel and Simon's, I will be doing matching up to a certain amount. Also for Wandering DM for this channel, for the first 20 new followers, I will donate additional $3 per new follower all next week. So Simon's going to be tracking how many new followers the channel gets, and I will be giving anyway. So for those of you that don't have the money right now, but you can give some time and attention and some love to this channel, I'm willing to put some money down and make sure that your care and attention is shared.
Thank you for this, Chris. I literally could not have said it better. We're going to be back next week on Friday for some Cyberpunk, Monday for Legacy, Tuesday for Witcher. Hopefully my internet connection works. And Wednesday, my channel is apparently hijacked by someone. So Chris is going to be here on Wednesday. On Thursday, we're going to be back for some Dragon Age. And that is the entire schedule for next week. Before we leave, let's go raid my friend Jess over at GoJG. She is currently playing a tabletop RPG called Palanquin. Palanquin? Palanquin. A role-playing game of escape and trust. It looks like a new game that I've never seen before, so let's go and say hi, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.